Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we are talking about something that's got people talking. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I know the reason why they got me hosting this one, because they know I'm allergic to dusty ass niggas, but we gonna talk about it today, okay? We're gonna talk about comedian Cory Holcomb say he prefers dating broke women because he can control them. Who, who else is sneezing from the dust? And how important is financial independence for women to avoid being in situations like this, y'all. Come on. And there's so many men who are like this that probably won't admit it, but I definitely want to have a conversation about it. But first, I want to introduce you all to the beautifulest, the loveliest, the wonderfulest, the smartest queens on the planet. First, we got Miss Vanessa Gopal. She is a public policy business owner and international travel advisor, y'all. Listen, if you want to get your travel on, if you want to get your politics on, this the one. This the one right here.
Facts.
Next, we have Miss Athena Gardner. She is a CPA and a wealth coach, and she is all things pop culture, baby. What's up, Miss Athena? How you doing, baby? Okay, she's muted. But then we're going to go to Dr. Felice. She is a licensed clinical mental health counselor, and she's going to therapize all of us and get us all together because we got to make sense of the bullshit. So before we get started, let's run that footage because y'all listen. Yeah, no. I'm not going to set it up, but just listen.
Women in poverty, I can control them better. A girl who can't afford to say, Corey, I'm gone. She just can't afford to do it. So I take advantage of that.
Could you see yourself in a situation where a woman makes as much as you or more than you?
I like women who make money, just I can't do nothing with you other than sleep with you. If you could take care of yourself, you're going to think you can talk to me. I can fix your little deficiency if you do what I want you to do.
This man just casually admitted that he wants the kind of woman that he can financially abuse. They want to feel like you are beneath them. And the only way to do that is to be able to financially control you. They want you to have to consider, can I even afford to leave him? They don't want you to be a stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home mom because they're wholesome and they think you'd make a great mom and they don't want to have their child raised in childcare. No, none of that. This is why so many of them long for the good old days when women had no bank accounts, when women didn't have jobs, when women couldn't make their own money. They long for those days because they believe those men had more control of their women. A good man doesn't want you to be with him just because you can't afford to leave. This is also why they're trying so hard to get rid of no-fault divorce. They want you to feel like you are stuck with them.
Smells like some dusty ass niggas to me. But, and I'm sorry for those of you who might be offended of the N-word, I'm going to be dropping the N-bomb probably throughout the most part of this broadcast today. So if you don't want to hear the word nigga, then you might want to go somewhere else and log off. But today, we're going to talk about some dusty ass niggas. So, y'all, what do you think? Because this dude sounds like he got a whole lot of low self-esteem to me. I'm going to go to you, Dr. Felice, last because I need you to therapy. I need you to make this make sense for me. I don't know if you can, but I'm going to start with you, Vanessa.
Well, my thought is like, how low does your self-esteem have to be where you're like, I want to be with someone, even though I know they don't like me, they like my money. Like, you have to be really, really insecure. But I do believe that he is speaking his truth. And it's a lot of men out there that feel that way. So it's up to us women to avoid them and be independent, financially independent. So we don't got to deal with dusty, bums like this because, yeah, they're out there and they want to control you. And see, my thing is like, to what level of control? Because we mentioned financial control, but there's also emotional control, right? And then it's not like he's, trying to, she mentions a wife. That ain't a wife situation because he's talking about it like women, like he does this to women. So he's just he's just a dirtbag in general. Like, just the level of insecure. But on that note, I've been in relationships where I know that men have like try to, break up with me the moment they feel like I'm making a little bit of money, or they see that I have goals, they get automatically intimidated. So I've been with some men that I believe are like this, that didn't want me to be successful or were intimidated by my success. And I just think they're raised by, just most of them had daddies. And I think that they're just, intimidated by a strong woman.
Or they got mommy issues. They got mommy issues.
That too.
What do you think about this raggedy ass Negro, Athena? You might think he's cool, so I don't want to, I don't want to say your opinion.
Listen, Corey is a street urchin, okay, and that's why when I went on that podcast with Dr. Boyce and we was talking about dating men with money and my experiences, I said that character is the most important thing. Because just because a man has money does not mean he has character, does not mean he care about you, does not mean a whole lot. It just means that he has extra commas in his bank account, right? And clearly he's using that as leverage to enact financial deception with women, which 46% of couples will face this. Now, I don't think he's in any committed relationship. He seems like he thought and bopping with women, but I'm not surprised by this because I did mentioned to the ladies on Boyce's podcast that a lot of these men look at you as charity. Like I've had a man on a date and he was papered up. He told me that a lot of these dates that he goes on with these women, he looks at it like if it doesn't go well, he just paid for a stranger's meal, like he donated money to charity. So a lot of this women need to calm down thinking that these men paying for meals or doing whatever, doing something, because a lot of them looking at you like Corey looking at you. They're just saying the quiet part out loud, like charity.
You know what though? If all you got to do is buy me a meal, or you think you did something by buying me a little raggedy ass meal that I could buy myself, you ain't worth the time anyway. Like you really think you doing something because you done took somebody out and you spent $100 or $200? Like for real? Anyway, what do you think, Dr. Felice, about the dust? Or, is this a representation of what a lot of men think? Let me ask you that, because maybe he's just saying what a lot of men are doing or thinking.
Well, I don't think that's possible, because if you think about our men, especially Black men, I believe, and y'all give me some grace and y'all get the quotes. Black women are doing way better economically anyway. So we're only 13% of the population, let's say half of them, right? So are they really doing better than us financially? So I just can't say accurately that a lot of men are even thinking that, because they're not in a position to even take care of us. And so the Black men who are in position to take care of us, I think their egos can get a little bit inflated. But what we're really upset about is that his transparent reasoning, right? For why he chooses poor women, which signals his lack of confidence, low self-esteem, and insecurities. And actually, I feel sorry for and pity him, and that his game is so weak that he settles for less in women in order to satisfy his ego. And what he believes is control is actually delusional, right? A lot of these women who he believes is controlling is just using him as a means to the end. And what I'm going to recommend that these women do is that they go ahead and pawn those Jordans that he claims he's buying for these children, and that they take that money and open up a Robinhood account and just accumulate. Because at the end of the day, what he thinks he's doing, it really isn't that, because Black women have been resilient. They don't necessarily need him. I think that they're using him as a means to an end. And so
he think he's using them, but he getting used up.
Right. He thinks that it's a sense of control, but it just says a lot about him and what he thinks about himself. Yeah. And so he's actually attracting the women based upon what he feels about himself.
Right. Pimp that trick, ladies. Pimp that trick. Also, I think it's because he has a very, 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 very small micro penis. Let's go to commercial.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am the proud producer of this show. So I hope that every day when you join us, you leave a little smarter than you came, because that's the point. Otherwise, why are you watching? So if you want to receive notices for when we go live, Fly Nubian Money goes live every single day. That's Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know,
Y'all, my mama's here. I didn't know she was sitting over there on the stairs. She said, "Hey." I was like, "Ooh, what you?" I got to watch my penis talk. Anyway, no, I'm not. So let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask you a question, Athena. Have you ever, because you just talked about the idea of you going out, you talking to Dr. Boyce about men who think that they can financially abuse women. Have you or anyone on here, and I want to ask each of you, have you guys been in a situation where you've been financially abused by a man, or a man thought that they can control you? Because I know you said you're not a looks girl, but you like the shmoney. But then when put to the test, though, you don't really like the money, like you said. Remember Dr. Felice? Remember on the Pop the Balloon when she was like, "I'm all about the money. I'm all about the money." But when that man came out looking like the way he did, she was like, he's short. Remember? Yeah. So what is it? Have you ever been in a situation though where a man has tried to control you with money since you be dating all this money, these money men?
Actually, I talked about my experiences with dating, and I remember my brother was asking me, if I was you, I would just, be with a rich man. And I said, you're only saying that because you haven't dated them. So a lot of them do try to financially control you or have an upper hand on you, especially when there's such a difference in income. I remember there was one guy that was trying to give me like what I call like a girlfriend's package. So like access to the black card, like my own condo, my own car, my own whatever. But he wanted me to do like, these humiliation kink acts thing. And I was like, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. So,
tell us a little bit about it. Humiliation kinks. What was he trying to do, girl?
They want you to like.
Was he trying to have you pee on him?
I never let it get that far. But he wanted me to like, oh, I can't take out the trash because I'm important and I know you need to take out the trash.
Oh hell nah.
I can't do this because they groom you for that. So they don't go straight to the right. They build on things, and next thing you know, you're gonna wake up in a freak off. But they slowly groom you
little by little. Yeah.
Right. So for the it's sad to say this. I don't think only rich men do this because a poor man can humiliate your ass too. But a lot of them have these control issues. And I remember talking to my aunt and my mother about men in general. I was like, because I'm not used to that. So I was talking to them. I was like, are men just this controlling? Is this something I need to adjust for? Because I just kept bumping into men that were very controlling. So I'm not surprised by this.
Some Trust No TV said you probably took out the garbage.
Yeah. Ladies, my advice to you is, even if you are broke, like the girls that Corey is going after, don't act like it. Get a stove. Try to this is going to make sure the dust don't get upon you, honey. They're gonna see you and think
you said not the big stove
and go the other way, honey. So,
Dr. Felice, what about you?
I was engaged to a guy who did a lot for me. And I don't necessarily think that he was thinking it was control, but I think he thought it was leverage that would cause me not to leave. And to think twice about seeing his flaws. So to say, well, excuse it. Well, that's just, even though it was a red flag, let me excuse it because he does so much for me in this area. And what that did for me was that it just proved to me what it was I could have and what was available to me. And that's what I want my ladies to know, that if you do meet a man with money, what that does is you don't have to stay with him. It's just the inclination that it only gets better. And so you don't have to stay with someone just because, they're controlling it or they want leverage. That's an indication that you have the ability to attract men, the man you want, and that it only gets better. And so that's what happened. And I couldn't be controlled. And so I don't think that that's what he was going after, but I think he wanted that leverage.
Yeah. What about you, Vanessa?
I dated a guy. I was young too, in my 20s. He had money. And so, I didn't notice it in the beginning because he was very slick with it. I just thought like, oh, he buys me stuff. He takes care of things. But then, by the end of that relationship, towards the end, I realized like he was really crazy. He was really controlling, and it wasn't with money. I mean, it was with money too. You know, like wanting to ask, like, "Oh, well, why do you need that?" But you know, I used to love going to the gym, and I remember you only want to go to the gym so that other guys can look at you. So, like, generally, I feel like if a man like this wants to control you financially, then he also wants to control you in different ways. Because
Mm.
by the end of that relationship, and like I said, I was in my 20s, I found myself not going to the gym, in the house, sad, feeling verbally abused, you know, and I was like, this is no, we're not doing this. And I had to get up out of that situation. So that's how I feel like men that have that type of personality trait, that type of insecurity where they feel like they have to control their woman or they have to dominate you in a certain sense, they also got some deeper issues too.
Yeah.
Like they probably will beat your ass too. So I mean, because I really felt like if I would have stayed in that relationship, we definitely would have got into a violent altercation.
Because it's that step towards controlling. And so when they
Yeah.
start little and then it gets big, the more you allow, the more they will do. They just start trying to groom you little by little by little by little. And then the more you let those boundaries go, and let me see if I can do this. And I understand. And they gonna
Yep.
beat your ass at some point.
Yep.
Some women, Dr. Flea, say, you know, I only get wet if a Negro got money. And so for women that will accept this kind of behavior, what does it say about them? Is it that they have low self-esteem? Are they users? Like, is this a societal thing? Is this a socioeconomic thing? Like, what does it say about a woman who would allow this type of behavior?
Well, all those reasons that you hit on, they're all valid, right? And so it talks about somebody's value system. What is it that they value? And, just to be fair, we got a lot of women taking care of men too, right? We got a lot of women who got money, and a way to control and have a man stay in their pocket, they use their money to do it, right? I'll buy you a car. I'll buy you these clothes, just as long as you stay close and you stay. And I think that's just not a man thing. I think that's a human thing. Money can change people and make people believe and act a certain way so that they can keep people in their pocket. And so I just think that, and I think it's the opposite. I think there's probably way more women taking care of men than there are men taking care of us. And I want people to stop going to this idea of money, 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 money. We are supposed to have. Can we just let that go? We are not supposed to be poor.
That's right.
And so for us to think that wanting to get with people who don't have finances, stop acting like that's a gold digger thing. That is a right. We should all be striving for financial independence. No one should want to be with somebody broke. Man, female, whatever, dog, cat. We should all be operating with money.
So let me ask you this, Dr. Felice. Does that mean at 50 years old that I'm not a gold digger because I want a man to have his own shit?
Right. Why would you? So let's look.
You want me to be struggling at 50?
Let's look at your daughter. Let's look at your son. Because when we make it personal, right, we can kind of change the perspective. Do you want them to be with broke people? Do you want them coming into your house with them and their chaps living in your home because their partner don't have? No, you want them financially independent. You want them with people who have learned how to make money and to keep money and to build legacy wealth. That is not a gold digger thing. That is an intrinsic thing that we all desire to have. So stop getting this label of gold digger on it.
Yeah, wealth is your birthright, people.
Right.
And I hope that we all understand it, because don't nobody want to be with your broke ass at 50.
No.
Athena, do you know anybody like this? Like, do you know women personally who are like gold diggers and who are just interested in men who only can do something for them?
Nah, I've seen this in real life now. Me personally, in my circle, no, but I've seen women entertain situations because the man had money. And I remember one time, me and my girlfriends, she was recounting to me, they were at lunch, and one of the girls had a sugar daddy. And everybody was like, oh my God, look at, she had the purse, she had whatever. And her response was like, you guys don't understand what I go through to get these things.
Oof.
You guys don't understand what I go through to have these things. And that's why I said I'm never jealous of any woman in her situation, because I done seen a lot, honey. And I know a lot of those girls are suffering on their knees, honey. Imagine having to, I don't know where we want to take this, but imagine having to have sex with somebody you don't even like, just so your bills get paid.
Never.
Like, imagine having to do that.
No.
Just doing it when you tired is a chore. Much less having to do it just to make sure.
Yeah, my stomach is too weak for that shit.
Relationships are transactional in that way, and the way Corey was talking about it, he wants it that transactional. He said, "I like it like that, so she don't feel like she can talk to me."
That's crazy.
You know, so.
That's just like, being with a prostitute. I mean, it is transactional. They're only there for the money. He may as well just pick up prostitutes at this point. But Vanessa, do you know anyone like that that's just just out for the money, who's just getting their bills paid?
Yeah, but like Athena was saying, I wonder what part of, I've seen people lose a part of themselves doing that too.
Yeah.
So you lose a part of yourself. You don't just, you're gaining something, but you're also losing something. So it's just like, at what cost are you, at what cost?
Yeah.
Right? Are you willing to lose a part of you? Yeah, I couldn't do it. I just,
Yeah. Deborah said Corey is a pension poppy in the making. He is a sugar daddy. Don't nobody want you for you, brother. And that's the reason why you gotta be with broke ass women in the projects who come from places of poverty, because they need you, because nobody of substance wants you, sir. But let's go to commercial, and we're gonna come right back and finish this conversation, continue the conversation.
You want to grow your money and not blow your money, as Constance says, check us out at flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, programs, videos, resources. In 2024, there's no reason to be broke when there's information all around us. So get your money right. flynubianmoney.com.
I love the conversation around what Dr. Felice was saying about living in abundance, because I think a lot of us approach things from a scarcity mindset. And that's the reason why we do this. This is the reason why we settle. This is the reason why we settle for everything in our lives. It's because of the scarcity. But and there's so many times, Dr. Felice, that you've said this even on the show, like, you could have anybody you want. You could do anything that you want. You could have any amount of money that you want, if you just understood and knew that you could live in abundance. But how does that play out in the role of these relationships? This lack and the scarcity mindset in terms of, and then how long because I know you're a therapist, like, does that affect the way people's relationships end up playing out because they marry or they get into these relationships because of the scarcity mindset?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything we do is a seed, right? And not only that, energy is real. And so your world only reflects what it is you see and believe about yourself. And so a lot of people don't understand why their worlds are operating the way that they are. It's because of how you're showing up in it. And so if you don't see the possibility in you, the universe can't reflect that back to you. And so if you are choosing, if you are settling, right, that's exactly what you're going to get. And can you afford that? I don't know. Some people do, and they leave here not really experiencing all that they were destined to experience because they settled, not knowing that it's okay to be by yourself, because there's something that plays tricks with your mind when you get into these relationships with people, expecting more and getting less. And so you could have done that all by yourself. You didn't need to be and have a partner not to be able to live the full life. Like I meet with clients who think, well, if I have a man and he has this, then this is what's going to happen. Ma'am, I do this all day, every day with people who thought that, and that's not what's happening for them in their lives. Their man is not helping them. They still looking like single parents. They're not getting the love, the affection. They're not getting the double in their increase in income like they thought they was. And so how does that align, right? It's because of your belief system. You didn't believe that you could have what you can have, and this is what you got.
Yeah. Ooh, you just dropped a diamond and a gem and a nugget and all that. And that's the truth, is that we settle for the things that we think that we can't have. That's the lie that we tell ourselves. But the truth is, we actually can have whatever it is that we want. It just takes a little time. Sometimes it takes a little patience. Sometimes it takes working on yourself so that you can be the right person in the right place at the right time when you are ready to receive that person. But it takes work. It's just not going to happen overnight. You can't be
People
raggedy and
they don't want to work.
The work. 550 credit score. I want somebody with an 800. No, what are you bringing to the table? Where is your value system at? And so that's the thing that I think people really need to understand. And so then what do? We settle. We get into these situations that we can't get out of. And one of the worst feelings in the world is not having peace inside of a relationship. For you, Vanessa, how important is that peace? Like, how important is it for you to just feel like freedom in your relationship? Because I don't know relationships without peace, with peace. Like, I don't know a man with peace yet. And I have so much peace right now that I'm skeptical. I'm like, shit, this is too good. I don't know if I want to bring that. How important is that for you?
Listen, it's everything. I think until you've been in situations where you know what peace, not having peace is like, you can't appreciate it till when you're in a situation where you have peace.
Right.
And so, a lot of like, for me, I didn't see a good relationship with my parents growing up, right? My parents were separated. They were cool, but I didn't have a lot of good relationships and marriages to look at. So my whole 20s, I went through a multitude of situations that I would never be in at this age, So it was just a very bumpy road for me. I met a lot of men like Corey, they weren't as out with it, but they definitely tried to control me with their money and their things. And I think it devalued, trying to devalue my self-worth and what I brought to the table, because they were insecure. They wanted me insecure and little, so complete lack of self-esteem. There's just a lot of things that I went through that I had to go through to learn. And so when I'm now in a situation and I have peace, I have great friendship, I have a best friend, I have peace. So I appreciate it more, but I had to go through a bumpy road to understand what is a good relationship, because I didn't have that in front of me. And it can be a facade when someone is here with money and they're giving you things, they're buying you things. You kind of think, oh, this person cares for me, this person loves me. And then before you know it, you crying every day. He playing
Stressed
tricks
out,
on you. Yeah, stressed
high.
out. So I think
Cortisol high.
Yeah, so for the majority, I mean, not the majority, I don't know. I don't have enough facts to say that. But for a lot of us women, we just have to go through it through experience and learn, like, oh, that's not for me. But that's after you done already went through the bullshit.
Oof. Cosmic Mind 222 said, men like Corey get women because y'all are hypergamos in nature. And I was like, what the fuck is hypergamos? So I had to actually go and Google it. And it said it's relating to the practice of marrying or dating someone of a higher social status or sexual capital than oneself. Okay. So with that being said, though, Athena, you always say, the level of people who actually making real money out here is actually really low. So how true is that, Miss Wheat Wealth Warrior?
I'm glad that you asked.
She had to sip her tea for that.
So the statistic for, since it's, Black people, Black first, B1.
B1.
6% of Black U.S. adults make $100K or more. 6%. So some of these, I've always said that some of these conversations we are having online, we should not even
are above your damn pay grade, Negro. So
because only 6% of us cross that line, much less any further down the line, right? Hypergamy. So by nature, the feminine energy is hypergamous because the woman sets the standard so the man can rise. Mm-hmm. So if you look at animals in nature, every other facet of nature, you see that. But somehow you want women to not correspond with nature. And I think that's what's happening with the community and society as a whole, and all this confusion and all this, because you're upset that when a woman tries to hold you guys to any standard of greatness, that instead of putting your energy into trying to meet that, you are out here trying to be like some street urchin to find the most vulnerable women, whether they're poor, low self-esteem or whatever, to financially abuse and manipulate them like Corey is doing. If you was that man Like you guys love to be on keyboard warriors on these chats talking about this would not even be an issue.
If you really had that money, you sure wouldn't be talking about that money. And again, this conversation may just be above your pay grade, brother. So you should, oh, y'all just gold diggers. No, Negro, you just work at a warehouse and you make $13 an hour, and that's not our fault that we don't want you. Sorry. But for you guys in the comments, do you think that that's the nature of the relationships for Black people? Are Black women what is it called?
Hypergamous.
Are they hypergamous? Are we quote unquote gold diggers?
If we were hypergamous, a lot of Black women would not even be dating anyone or married.
Or black.
Because it means that we would date up. A lot of us, if you read that book, is Marriage for White People by Ralph Richard Banks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the Black women that are successful or have everything date down or have to make the choice on whether or not they're going to stay single or date down as far as education and income in order to still achieve the goal of having a family and children. So all this hypergamy talk is thrown on the air. Most Black women date down, if not do a 50-50 setup. So I don't know why we're even having this conversation again. Very few men can actually sit you down. Because even if you cross the 100K threshold,
where's my tambourine, Athena?
100K is not enough if he makes 100K, so 6% makes 100K. If he alone makes 100K, that's not enough to support another woman and 2 kids.
No.
So what are we talking about?
What are we talking about here?
No, but can I just chime in? Athena is at what I just need for us to have a reality check. What are you looking at? Because if you look at our statistics, right, which Dr. George Fraser shared, by a certain year, we won't even have any wealth. So what does that mean? That what you're saying is not even true. We are not meeting men who have money, because if we met men who have money, then the socioeconomic status of the Black race as a whole would be elevated. So we are not meeting and dating men who are important or who are important money into us. It's not happening. And it's so bad that is threatening that we will have no wealth by a certain time. Why is that? Because I need y'all to get off of these delusional tracks that y'all are on, thinking that y'all are raising some kind of status quo for Black women. It is not happening. When you pour into the Black woman, you pour into the community. We lift our community up. So you are not pouring into us the way that you were created and should be. So please stop acting like y'all are doing something y'all not yet. You have the potential to. Do you have the potential to be your God-given purpose? To be the man in the head that you were created to be for us? Yes, it is there. As soon as you renew your mind and you start loving us like God has commanded you to love us and to see us properly, why wouldn't you want to take care of your queen? Why wouldn't you want your queen to be good? Why wouldn't you want us to have the best that we are supposed to have? Because if you elevate us, we elevate you. You elevate us, we elevate your kids. We elevate your kids, we elevate a community. We elevate a community, we elevate the world. So can we please get back to reality?
Take it to church then. Take it to church then.
Come on. I about 25 years ago, I heard a pastor say, he said, if men would take their rightful place as men, women wouldn't have a choice but to fall in line. If you did what you were supposed to do as the head of that household, and you took care of your family and you took care of your household, the women are going to do their part. And also, actually, Brother Nuri Muhammad had said that on Saturday, and it was so funny because it got real quiet. Because Negroes like blaming women. A lot of these Black men, they like saying, well, we not doing, and you picking wrong and it's your fault and the kids is messed up and it's your fault, when they're not stepping into their proper places as men. The problem, and I'm not painting everybody with a broad brush, the problem with a lot of Black men is we lack accountability. Y'all lack accountability. You guys don't want to take accountability for your actions, for not stepping up, for not being the men in the household. You can't blame the white man. You can't blame the Black women. You got to be men. Vanessa, what do you think about that?
I mean, listen, all of it. But, I also think the mindset of it, right? Because sometimes we go into these situations, and Athena, you're saying, we have like 6% who make $100,000, right? But we go into these situations even when we were men, and if we're only looking at money, If we're only looking at money, and we know statistically that you're not going to probably meet someone that makes 100K or whatever, I think the mindset of understanding like what type of man that you're picking, is this a man who wants more in life? Is this a man who values family? Is this a man who values, he wants to take care of you, he's willing to work, and he's willing to grow? You know, a lot of times we're stepping into situations and we're looking at what it is right now. You know, if you meet a man and he's, you know, going through college or getting his real estate license, or you see him moving, he treats you right, you know, that's a strong possibility that y'all will grow together. And that man, if he got the right mindset, he wants to take care of you. He wants to put himself in a position to take care of you and to do everything that he can for you. So I think we also have to also identify, you know, better partners in it, you know, and just not, we can't look at money as the single thing to
You're right.
define a man when we meet him. Like, I don't believe that. When I got with my fiance, I mean, there was a certain level that, right, he was already at, because I feel like women, we have to have standards. Like, you know, me wanting you to have an income and have good credit and have a car, that's a minimum, right? That is a minimum. I'm
But what about
sorry.
him just paying the light bill? We should just be
Oh,
happy
and
if a
pay-
man
yeah,
pay the
Tyler
light
Perry,
bill.
the Tyler Perry method ain't enough for you, Vanessa.
Yeah, no, but I feel like, but you know what, we've grown financially, because of, I knew in the beginning when we had conversations, I'm like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And see, when you start asking questions and you start getting to know a person, you can understand where their mindset is. So I knew that, okay, I can build with this person, right? We can go somewhere because we both had similar mindsets. So, you know, I don't believe in just meeting a guy and saying, oh, you don't make 100,000. For one, statistically, like everybody's talking about in this panel, the probability of that is probably low. But that doesn't mean that that man won't be at 100K in 3 years, in 4 years, if he has the right mindset.
Yeah, but at 50, you should have already been there for me.
Oh, well,
Dr.
listen,
Felice.
listen, that's a different story now. That's a
Dr.
different
Felice,
story.
I ain't 35. I ain't no spring chicken. Like, you better come with your shit together. Dr. Felice, and then you got to make this one kind of brief because then we got to go to commercial. But Terry Wilson said, I believe we need to lower our standards for the amount of money a man brings in, but the quality of a man have a goals and aspirations to excel and know are truly pursuing greatness. What do you think about that?
I don't know. You got to test it, right? Because if you're not potential, then you don't need to be engaged in potential. Like, potential is relative.
Ooh.
And so
at my daughter's age, she can get potential, but I'm a woman of a certain age, right?
And that's what people don't understand. No, I don't think you should have to lower a standard, because, you know, we say men are dogs. They're not dogs. It's just that they messing with fleas. And so they're only going to rise to the standard by which you give them. If you want a man to have a standard, then you got to give him something to rise to. And if he doesn't want to rise to that, you got to let him go. And you got to be okay and know that there's another bus coming. And you get on that bus. You get off the bus and you wait for another one. And
well,
so I don't believe you have to lower your standards.
She
And
said niggas is like a bus.
Right.
She said niggas is like buses. They come every 15 minutes.
Yes, they do.
Listen, Dr. Felice, everybody on here, y'all keep dropping them bees on them. I mean, all right, we're going to come back. We're going to go to a commercial. We're going to come right back, but we're going to continue the conversation. Trust. This is
Fly Nubian Money is now on Spotify. Yes. We are on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, you can listen to us. All you have to do is search Fly Nubian Money and we will appear. All of our episodes. Make sure that you leave a 5-star rating and reviews so other people that come along and are looking for a good show to watch, they'll follow us too. If you are interested in being on Fly Nubian Money, sorry, I don't have any spaces. I'm just playing. If you are interested in being a queen or a king on Fly Nubian Money for the day, please reach out to me. I'm at info@realvirtual.net. That's info@realvirtual.net. Also, if you need help with your business, go ahead and send me an email for that too. Okay. I've said enough. Now, back to the show.
You know what I was just thinking?
You want to grow your money and not blow your money as...
Damn, Gwen. You don't want me to talk? No. So what I was just thinking, though, because we were having... I don't know if y'all went to the All Black National Convention, but it was off the chain. If y'all didn't come, you need to come. And I think tickets are still 50% off. I looked earlier today, and tickets are still for next year. It's going to be in Atlanta. 50% off. So go to allblacknationalconvention.com. But when we were at ABNC, we were on the panel and we were just talking, I guess the conversation kind of morphed into relationships. But there's a thing where I think a lot of men want us to be men and want us to chase them, and they don't want to chase anymore. They like, because I think they think because the ratio of women to men is so high, they don't really have to work for it, so they want us to kind of chase after them. Vanessa, what do you think about the whole idea of men not being able to chase and pursue, or not wanting to?
Baby, I'm not chasing no man. That's what I think. And I think that's period. I'm not chasing facts. I'm not chasing no
Don't do that,
man.
Athena. Sorry.
And
Don't do that, Athena.
On that, yeah, I feel it, Athena. I'm not chasing no man. I don't think that. I think that we're getting out of place. It's too far out of place, right? I don't believe that a woman is supposed to chase down a man. A man is supposed to pursue you. If a man wants something, he should pursue you. And that's the type of man I want in everything, in business, in God, and even his selection in a woman. I want you to pursue it. I want to be pursued. So that's the way I look at it. If you can't pursue me, then you probably can't pursue anything in a career or with God or anything that you want in life, period.
Oh, they showing you up front what type of person they are and what they can pursue just by the mere fact of whether they pursue you or not, right? I love that. Right. Athena, you know what? Yo, punk ass, you are so funny. She said, I am not. I don't work here. The whole idea of us, men not being men and not just stepping in because they think that they have so many choices. And then of course women have made it a lot easier, because let me tell you something. I was at a thing last year, and like I was with these two guys, and both of them like me, right? But I was with these two guys and I walked away, and the guy was like, did you see that? And I was like, what happened? He was like, this girl just came up to me and she was asked me, for my, and he was like, and I said, and he was like, she wasn't very attractive, which I was like, gosh, oh my God, I would never. And then, he rejected her. So like, how does that feel for a woman? But women are out there doing that. What do you think, Athena? Because for me, it's like, that's just like getting on my knee and proposing.
Listen, I don't know why Kiara did not put me on that panel, because you already know I would have shut it down. You already know. First of all, if men are the leaders and they're all masculine and they all this, that, and the third, why would you want a woman to chase you? What? You need to lead in that department. You need to lead the relationship. You need to be the leader that you claim that you are. And second of all, when a goddess come through, that's all I need to do, honey. If I need to do anything more than that, you're not the man I'm trying to look for. You're not masculine enough. And third, I feel like as women, we have lost our way. And that's because we are listening to all this rhetoric, having us stressed and feeling nervous and feeling the need to compete. The gag is most men already like what they like, want what they want, honey. And there's very little you can do out the gate to convince him otherwise. He gonna pick who he want. So all you got to do is position. Do not shoot your shot, because people who shoot their shot get shots. Position yourself for the man that is seeking you. And that is all I got to say about that. If you will never see me chase a man on this earth ever. Okay, I'd rather die standing up.
Ooh, Lord, it's getting hot up in her. Dr. Flea's going and round it up. Well, what do you think, sis?
I think that as women, we are out of order. I think that as humanity, we're out of order, and men were created to chase. That is their true nature. And we have allowed men to evolve into a creation that was not God ordained, right? And so now they evolved into something to now they don't even have the ability now to even chase like they would originally want to. And that is because we have lowered the standard and we have robbed them and slowly, removed and in a sense, emasculated them from operating in the way that they were created. And so I really, I want to really admonish my men to get back to the original man, right? I need you to go back to the original man, how you were created. You were created as kings to be able to conquer, right? And so you chasing a woman should not even faze you. You shouldn't want a woman that you have to chase, because honestly, in your nature, you lose interest in a woman that you don't pursue and chase. And I don't want no man losing interest in me. And so I want you to know who I am and what I represent for you. And you only going to know that if you pursue and conquer and chase. And so women, we should not want a man who is not operating in the way in which he was created. We don't want anything less. Like Athena says, stand alone.
We are out of order. All of us are out of order. Men are out of order for not stepping up and being men. Women are out of order for trying to be the man. And I promise you, at 50, I'm only 48, y'all, but I'm just not interested in being a man. I'm just not interested in
and you should not be. You should not be.
That shit is exhausting.
You come with too much to do all of that.
Come on, sis.
You come with too much to do all of that. Listen.
It's exhausting. But let me ask you this, because a lot of men think because, I got options. But what I have heard, because I hear men say it's tough out here for us too. And yeah, there might be 9-1, 3-1, 10-1, 20-1, but the whatever is not good quality. So y'all, even though they say we got all these options, they're not in competition with you. They're not your quality. But for a woman of a certain standard, do you find that it's harder for you to find a man of a certain caliber because you require more? All of y'all, but I'm gonna ask Athena first.
I think, and for those of you who have not seen my podcast interview with Dr. Boyce, you can see it on his channel. I think once you're a woman who picking on character alone will eliminate 80% of men. Because as you spend time during dating, you will start to see that a lot of men do not display the character needed for you to feel safe to rest in your feminine energy, to give in that way. And that is a big part of the problem. Secondly, it's like you have to make these sacrifices. Okay, because a lot of people give me a lot of criticism sometimes because, you're single. And clearly you ladies saw me this weekend, people checking for it. So if I'm single, it's because I'm turning people down or whatever. But I turn people down is because most of the men aren't meeting with character. And in dating environments, and maybe we can do an episode about dating, the downside of dating is that it exposes you to what I call the predatory nature in men. It exposes you to the mindset like men like Corey have, where they're not necessarily engaging with you because they want a productive, happy, peaceful relationship. They're engaging with you to try to almost like manipulate you or exploit you in some way. Okay, can I exploit her poverty? Can I exploit her low self-esteem? Can I exploit her finances? So as you're engaging with men in dating, you just see that more where you necessarily would not have seen it. Because for the most part, you're engaging with men like your dad, your brothers, or whatever. But when you're in the dating process, especially, you're exposed to it in a wider scale because you're meeting all these single men. And a lot of them just don't have the character. Let's put aside money, because I already told you the statistics about that. Let's take money off the table. Character alone will eliminate most men. And Corey and his comments further solidify what I'm just saying.
Right, because he called his daughters bitches. He called his baby mama bitches. Like he's trash. He's garbage. He's a roach. He's a dusty. He's yuck. Before I go to you, Vanessa, let's look at some of the comments that were on that post. Somebody said the fact that they feel comfortable saying this out loud is insane. There's a lot of stuff that people say for shock value, but I do believe that he's just really speaking what he believes. They're now saying the quiet part out loud. If you're still fooling with these types of men, it's really all on you at this point. True that. The dust buckets, they are flying everywhere. Baby mama be ruining their own, black men be ruining their own image in society just by talking on these podcasts. Just be embarrassing. This is pimp mentality. No, Negro is simp mentality. This is why my mom pushed me to get a degree and start a career. She told me to never depend on a man and always have my own. I see why she said that now. I believe in women dating up. I'm dating up myself, but I also believe it's important to have your own bag as well. Corey hates women, period. That's all I want to say about that. And then I'll never forget my grandma telling me to never depend on a man or anybody to take care of me, my bills or finances. I still stick to that model to this day. Now let's go back to the question, Vanessa. What do you say?
Well, Constance, you mentioned some men feeling like because there is quantity that they feel like they have more options. But my advice is that you can find a man with quality if he's willing to pursue quality, right? because he's not concerned with the quantity, right? The quantity is there. So you see, man, if you're dating whatever, right? I don't want that man. I want the man who is concerned with quality, who sees quality in my worth, who sees like, okay, she's going to be a good mother, a good wife. She has her head on her shoulders. I can build with her. So that man with quality, he will chase quality.
Oof.
He's not concerned with the quantity and with the little hood rats like Corey's talking about, because that doesn't even exist in his mind, because in his mind, there's a certain caliber of woman that he wants. And I feel like a man will take the time to pursue what he wants. So for people that are like, you know, I feel like I got to chase a man, or I have to get my money to pay for a man. No, honey. A man that is with quality will pursue you, and he will go after what he wants. It's just that I feel like the bar has been set so low because, you know, people out here giving it up for Happy Meals, Burger King meals. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when the bar is set low like that, you got a bunch of men thinking that they don't have to work. But if you start setting the bar higher, they will reach higher. So I feel like for women, we have to really redefine what our bar is and understand our quality and our worth, and stand on that, stand 10 toes down on that, because a man that sees that will pursue you. He will like that and be like, I like what she's doing, and I'm going to pursue her. So find you a man that values quality and not quantity.
Come on. And ain't nobody finna be giving it up for no Happy Meals. But you are so freaking right, Vanessa. Like people, they're just pick-me's. But I refuse to be in some struggle love type situation. You know, and I think when we know that we deserve better, then that's when we do better. Hopefully when you know better, you do better. But there's just so many people who are just settling. But what do you think, Dr. Felice? What do you think about that question?
I think that it takes a real man to be able to know how to love one woman. But what it is that we live in a culture and a society where people are always seeking the path of least resistance. We don't like effort. We don't like rigor, right? Anything that is uncomfortable to us. And so we no longer strive. We don't have that fire. And so it doesn't take anything to have multiple people. That don't take anything. And you're not even doing that right. But it does take somebody special who knows how to stay in there in the trenches and love one right. Get that right. That's 100%. What we should be looking for. And I just want to give people some hope out there. If you are somebody who has done the internal work to be all that you can be and show up in this world magnificent, then just know that because you are, there is somebody out there for you, because you exist. That's so right. Just for the fact that you exist, then you keep the hope that there's somebody out there for you. The universe is going to bring you. Yeah. But it's going to test you, right? It's going to say like, oh, so you think you here? And so so let's take Athena, who says the universe tests her all the time, sends all these dudes across her path to see, okay, where you at, Athena? You know, like, are you going to settle? Are you going to be thirsty this month? Are you feeling lonely? So that you can pick somebody, but she stands her ground because she understands who she is.
The rose works.
And she's willing to wait, right? And continue to work on herself until, because it says he who find it, he's going to look and find you. So all you got to do is sit and be cute, right? And continue to work on you, because your man is there. And so you got to stop feeling these tests that the universe bring you and just grabbing anybody. But a good man knows how to love one woman well.
That part. And you continue to use your rose until you find him. So let me ask you this. Dr. Felice has no idea what I'm talking about.
I need to reach.
Terry said, I can't find the comment. She said at A, B, and C, because we talked about that on stage. She said at A, B, and C, a man said, well, I don't want to pursue a woman because I might get charged with like sexual harassment. Well, how hard are you pursuing her? What are you doing, brother? What the hell are you doing?
But you know what? That's not that. Let's break that down. Because like right now, we're in a culture where like these younger generations, because I do some corporate speakings now, you can't even compliment the younger generation. Mm-hmm. Like they find that offensive. Like, so you can't say, oh, you look lovely today. That's sexual harassment to them. And so it's true. And so now you don't know what it is you can say, what it is you can do.
But
because
that's in the workplace, though. That's
I know
not on
it's
the
in the
streets,
workplace,
right?
but like some of these people don't necessarily transfer everything over and keep it in compartmentalized.
Well,
And
how
So
you
so
just
supposed to
really
talk to
quick, so you
somebody?
can say you look nice today, and that's considered sexual harassment.
you really can't give a whole lot of compliments outside of like, well, good job. Like nothing in reference to how somebody looks, how they appear. Like you got to keep that to yourself. And
That's
so, you know, it's a different world we living in right now. And so I'm not judging it. I'm just saying that you got to walk in wisdom. And so you got to make sure that you handle people properly, period. You know, there's a way that you handle folk. And maybe that is a good thing that you come correct, that you don't necessarily mention our attributes. You're like, oh man, you found it and all that. Like maybe you don't need to do all that. Maybe you need to come to me a different way.
Right. And that's it. Well, y'all just gonna have to get, brothers, you're just gonna have to get
Creative.
creative. Big Mac, who I whooped his ass in Domino's at All Black National Convention, even if I didn't, I have the microphone. So, but one of the things he did say is, he said, once you get me, because he kept saying, I think he said it like 16 times in the comments, once you get me, what you gonna do with me? You know, once you get a good man, ladies, what are you going to do? How are you gonna operate in your femininity, Athena?
I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to encourage him. I'm going to nurture him. And I'm going to give him something to strive for. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. What about you, Vanessa?
Support him, listen, submit when I need to, and raise a good family and be the rock of the family.
Okay. What about you, Dr. Felice?
So the number one thing that men love is peace. So I'm gonna give my man peace. And then I'm gonna give him respect. And then I'm gonna love him. I'm gonna love him well. And all of that encompasses. And so, and I'm a die to myself. So what does that mean? That every day I'm gonna get up and say, how do I make sure that my man has a better day? And what can I do to serve him? And hopefully he's saying the same thing. How do I serve my wife and make sure that she has a better day? So that's how I'm going to do it.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Because men, respect is huge. Peace is huge. And then you love them and you feed them and you and all that other stuff. That comes too. But that's not even at the top. It's the peace. It's the respect. It's the love. And then it's all of those other things. And I think that's extremely important, is you always trying to figure out, and this is for both men and women, how can I add value to your life? What is it that you need? I remember TD Jakes had a book. I think it was Her Lady, Her Lover, and Her Lord, 25 years ago. But he was saying how we like to do for men what we want to do for them, not what they want. So I'm gonna go ahead and get you this because I like it, not because it's what you want. And we really have to find out, as women and men, what is it that they want? How can I love you the way you want to be loved, not the way I want to be loved? Does that make sense? Anyway, we out of time. So I want to know what your final words are for this whack ass roach of a man. I mean, is he a representation of Black man? Is he just clickbait? You know, Cory Holcomb is a roach, and I don't like him at all. But is he a reflection of the Black community? Is this where we're headed? Is this is it he who has the loudest mic is who is correct? Because I think we're getting stupider and stupider. The more we hear shit on podcasts, it just gets more and more outlandish. But is this life imitating art, or is this art imitating life? I'm going to start. Go ahead, Dr. Felice.
We love our Black men, and I don't think all men look like Cory. And so, and in fact, I'm going to believe that a lot of our Black men love us and want to do right by us. And so I'm only going to speak those things in which I want to see, not just for myself, but for my other Black sisters and daughters coming behind. And so I'm going to keep the hope alive. And I believe that our Black men want to love us, and they want to love us well. And as long as you want to do that, we got you. I got you. And I am Felice, the B.Big.Coach on Instagram and on Facebook, and www.thebebigcoach.com. If you need any help, wanting to learn how to be big from the inside out, I'm here for you.
You know I got to do it.
Yes,
B.Big.Coach. Wait, how do we do it?
That like that? Yeah. Go ahead.
b.big.coach.com. 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 Hey.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Vanessa, what are your final thoughts? What do you think?
My final thoughts are, listen, we have to raise our daughters and to
Mm.
let them know that they are queens. And we have to raise our men and teach them how to be a king to the queen. And I think that a lot of this, people like Corey and stuff, I think that they, they wouldn't exist, but he is not a representation of Black men. I'm also going to take the positive route. And I feel there are a lot of Black men out there that love Black women and would love to support and take care of us. You can find me at Vigo Paul. That's at VGOPAUL. I have all of my information on there. And I want to thank everybody in this chat today, everybody on this panel today. This was a great discussion. But yes, women, be the queen that you are. Walk in that. And you will find a king that wants to have a queen, not a peasant,
Oof,
next to him.
Come on. Yes. Corey only wants peasants. Thank you for that. That's good shit. Can you back us up a little bit, Gwen? We a little bit close to the thing. Athena, no, not me. I don't want to be the friend. Athena, what are your thoughts?
Listen, final thoughts is this: stay away from street urchins like Corey. I feel like nowadays we need to give out licenses to who can have podcast mics. I feel like we need a podcast mic license, and people need to apply in order to operate one. Ladies, if you do not want to be subjected to financial abuse like the broke women that Corey likes to date, please go to my website, We Wealth Women, where I help women confidently manage their finances to create their best goddess life. And check out my course, The Goddess Guide to Money, and also my upcoming event, which is on the site, The Wealthy Woman Ship. So you do not have to be hungry and broke and mess with men that you do not like, and clearly who do not like you. I also believe that, there are men, and I don't want, these street urchins to taint our view against Black men. There are men who will show up for you. I experienced that this weekend at the All Black National Convention, and it feels great to receive love, care, and support. So don't let Corey paint a picture that all Black men are dusty, because there are those who appreciate and value women. And as Vanessa said, hold yourself like the queen you are, and you will attract the king that will match you.
Okay. I'm seeing the glow. She said she experienced that. Okay, honey. Okay, spin the block is back in effect. I ain't mad at it. Let's go. I know for me, I love Black people. I really do. I love y'all for real. I love us for real. And I know that together we can go further. I don't subscribe to none of this bullshit. It's stupid. I think it's all part of the whole internet game. I know that together that we can go further. And I'm going to stick to that. I love Black men. And I just think that we just got to do better in figuring out how we can serve one another. It's not about take. It's really about give. And when you put yourself in a position to give, with boundaries, of course, you're always going to be in a position to receive. And I just think that's how we need to operate. Operate in abundance rather than scarcity. Operate in love rather than hate. Like the more you put out, that's what you're going to get back. Everybody talked about the law of reciprocity. Everybody talked about, you reaping what you sow. Everything that you put out, you're going to get back. So if you put out good shit, you're going to get good shit back, y'all. Where can you find me? Everywhere. I am Constance Carter. And I do want to tell you this. Make sure you tune in every day. We're here Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern every single day. We are here the same bat time, same bat channel. And if you want to get text before we go live, make sure you text the word Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS at 87948. And do not forget that we are on Spotify. So if you can't watch our beautiful faces, you can listen to us while you're in the car, and you're going to hear this recording probably within the next 24 hours on Spotify. And chime in. Make sure you give us 5 stars on Spotify. Look for Fly Nubian Money. We love you. And at the end of the day, Black people, we just need to come together. We got to stop this divisive talk, and we just got to work together in unity to build our community, because we got enough forces on the outside trying to break us apart. Together, united we stand, divided we fall. Let's continue to keep it going. We thank you. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.